Okay, so what we're going to do now is just teach you how to edit a very basic talking head video. This is one that the kind of one that we use for our company. We're not going to go over any B-roll to add to this, just adjust the audio. We are going to trim the video, add a outro. We will adjust the color a little bit if necessary, and add some music. And that should be pretty much it. So let's get started. So we're going to open up our Premiere Pro. All right, we are going to start a new project. Click on the left. We're just going to name this one most important, and then we'll put example one, and then we want to find a location, see project location. You're going to choose your folder. We're going to do our folder. You're going to name the folder. Inside this, I want for at least our company, I want these folders done this way so that we're all working in the same format. So we want an Adobe folder, an audio folder, a documents folder, a photo folder, and a video folder. And we'll go over the insides of these down the line. But for right now, we're going to save the project in the Adobe folder. All right, great. And then on the bottom right-hand corner over here, let's move this thing. We're going to go ahead and create that. And then your workspace is going to open up in Premiere Pro. We're going to go over here on the right. This controls the type of workspace. We're going to start out with editing. Okay, this is the editing workspace. Down here on the bottom left is kind of where you store all your media. And the same thing here, I like to keep this organized with bins, so you can use this little file folder here for a new bin. And we're just going to put video. And then let's do, we'll probably put audio. And then we might put for today, this might be, for today we may have photo. And then inside the video, we may have, for the project we're doing, we're going to have an animation, right? Animation. There you go. All right, let's just go back up. In the video, all we got to do is just click on this, and we're going to want to go to our folder where we have our actual media. And let's go to video. And we're just going to click on the video that we want. Here, it shows up here in this whole little, this whole media, area where we keep this. And we're going to want to take this file that we have here, and we're going to drag it over to our sequence here on the right. And we'll drag it over here, and we've now created a sequence. Now, the first thing that we're going to want to do is we are going to want to trim this a little. Actually, I take that back. The first thing I like to do is adjust the audio. So let's just go ahead and highlight this. We'll right click, and you'll get edit clip in Adobe Audition. I like my audio to be nice and crispy, clear, and sound very good, because audio is almost more important than the video. So we're going to switch the screen that we're sharing. So get the chat off so that you can see the Adobe Audition file. So let's adjust screens. I want to get a different screen. New share. Okay, here we go. There we go. Share. Okay, you should now be. Yep. Okay. So here's Adobe Audition. This is a waveform. As you can see, we've got some spikes in these waves, and that limits the amplitude of the rest of these waves, which sometimes makes your voice faint, and the audio doesn't come out that great. So we're just gonna give this a little bit of a haircut and trim it up. I'll take a look at over here on the right on the decibels. And to me, it looks a little bit like we can go to -12 and get rid of all these extra high waves that really, you're not going to hear anyway. And they just kind of mess up the rest of this. Now, I will look at the bottom here to see how bad -12 will affect this. And it's not going to really trim up too much, so the audio won't be damaged. So you go to effects up here. You're going to go to amplitude and compression. You're going to go down to hard limiter. And we're going to go -12. So you'll enter, so right here it says maximum amplitude. Over here, you can put it to whatever is necessary. For this one, I'm putting -12. And as you see, this is really cleaned up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do what we call normalize the audio, because I think -12 is a little bit too low when I'm listening. So I'm going to go to effects, amplitude and compression, and I'm going to go down to normalize process. Right now, I like to go to -4. I think between -6 and -4 is pretty good. A lot of stuff I've done in the past has been -6. I just think it sounds a little crisper at -4. So I'm going to do that. I don't really like to go above -3. That's just me. All right, so there we go. So that should sound really nice. We'll pull our scrubber over here.
We look at what is your current spending and saving patterns. What are your current
All right,
expenses?
that's good. I like that. So we're going to save this. Since these are connected all through Premiere Pro, that's what I really like about this is, you don't have to do your audio separate. It's all integrated, makes it really easy. So save that. We'll close it, and it's going to be adjusted in our sequence. Here we go. So we're back in our sequence. The audio is now adjusted. Up for nothing you have to do extra. So now I want to trim this. So this is your little scrubber here. So I'll go to the front, and then I use this little slide here to open this up so I can get a better view, kind of zoom in on the frames, right? And so I want to trim this where she's not gonna look weird, right? So maybe something a little kind of from a natural standpoint, something like that. Now, the tools to cut things, you're going to use the razor tool, or you can have a shortcut key, letter C for that. You can also, if you put your cursor here and you see the red highlight, you kind of trim it up that way. For today, I'm going to use the letter C, which turns this into a razor. And I'm just going to clip it there. I'm going to use V, which turns it back into a selection tool. And we're just going to delete that. And we're going to move that over there. So then we'll want to trim the end. So I'll probably open this up, just easier for me to move around this way. Move my scrubber here to the end. I will open that up a bit so I can see where I want to clip this. And same thing here. We don't want it to look weird, right? So the letter for here, and that's it. Okay. So for this one, I'm just going to do it this way. Trim it down. Boom. We are all trimmed up. So now let's throw on our logo, right? So I keep like a production tools folder of all my stuff. So it's easier. So we got animation. So let's just go grab it. So we'll go to the production tools. Let's go to video, production tools. I have a logo in here, logo animations. We'll do WM for this one. And we'll take this over here. We'll drop that there. Let's get, for our industry, we have to have a disclaimer. So we'll save that in photos. We'll go into our photos, production tools, disclaimers, our visual disclaimers. Here's our disclaimer. Save that in there. We're going to drag this over to our sequence at the end, right? Match these up. Now, I don't like the standard audio that comes with this logo. But the way it's set up is they're like baked in. So I'm going to need to unlink this. So I just take my scrubber, put it on this this little seat, this file, and or these frames, and I'm going to right click. Oops, that didn't work. Let me see if I can fix that. See if it'll what I needed to do. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go to unlink. That unlinks the audio from the video. So I can just delete that. I don't like that. Now we're going to want to put some audio on this. So we have some background music. At least that's what I like to do. That's option. Well, for what we're doing for here at WWM, we're putting the audio on. If you're not working for my company, you can do whatever you want. So for some audio on this, we're going to go, let's add my production tools. I've got my music. Let's go, we'll use this file, and this is in here. And we're just going to drop this here. On the underneath is where the music goes. You'll see underneath here, see these little microphones on these tracks. These are called tracks, right? And then we don't have enough music to go all the way, and I want it to go all the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a couple edits here. So I like to open up the track so I can see the waveforms, and I'm going to find this break here, and I'm just going to move it here. This is the way I like to do it. So it's kind of a clean adjustment. I'll go get this other audio file and just add it there. And I think it just makes it a little cleaner. Now, what you could do actually, which makes it make a little more sense. No, it's not going to work. Okay. Anyhow, okay, here we go. And now I'm going to need to trim the end of this music, right? So we'll pull this over here. And right now, the music's too loud for the audio. So you can't hear the voice. So in order to adjust that, there's this line here that you just pull down. I like to get down to about, we'll do 20 26.9 works pretty good. Every 20, between 25 and 30, I like for background music. That's kind of like, it's kind of like spices. You do it to taste as long as it doesn't overpower the voice of the person. I like to have this fade out at the end. So we'll listen to this real quick, how it looks.
Expenses, income you have coming in, and what are you doing with those savings and investments? So that initial process, the budgeting part.
So I just like it barely in the background. I don't like it very loud. That's just me. So I think that's fine. But I am going to want to adjust how this wraps up. So I'll go to the end of the video and I want it to be a little louder through the outro. So you're going to want to highlight your audio file here on this track, this audio track. And over here on the left, you're going to have these add remove keyframes. So we're going to add some keyframes. So we'll add the keyframes add wherever your scrubber is, right? So I'll move that, click that, move this over, click another keyframe, and we'll do one to kind of fade it out, right? And then you can just, I'll fade this to nothing. We'll move this up to let's go to like 12, right? And there we, a little high, 12 is fine. And then it'll sound something like this.
Appreciate you joining us today.
See here, okay. All right, so we've got that done. That looks pretty good. So the next thing that we're going to want to do now that we've got the music done is we're going to want to put some effects. So the way this works, the transitions here are a little harsh on the outro. So what we're going to want to do here is probably add some effects. So we're going to go up here. We're going to go to effects. All right, and we are going to want to go to video transitions. For us, what we're going to do, we're going to dissolve. From the video to the logo, we're going to do cross dissolve. From the logo to the disclaimer, we're going to go dip to white. And then from the disclaimer to the end there, we're just going to dip to black. Okay, so that gives us a new look for our outro. Right, so it just kind of fades out there. Dips to white. Dips to black. The next thing we're going to do is color. So we're going to go to up here to our workspace. We're going to switch to color. All right, because we're just going to make sure that this is colored correctly. On color, we're going to want to click on the Metri scopes. This is your RGB. It helps you figure out your white balance. This is your I can't remember these things called, like your waveform. And this tells you kind of where your light's out. For skin tones, that's what I'm exposing for. Skin tones of like a little bit darker color, I like between 65 and 70, as you can see here. So that's exposed properly. I like that. This is a little bit warm. So what we're going to do is we're going to create an adjustment layer. It just makes it easier that you don't actually kind of mess up the original files of your video file. So we'll go over here, you just hover right around this section, you right click, you're going to do a new item, you're going to do a adjustment layer, okay, and then you are going to, where am I adjustment? Okay, hit okay. You'll have your pink adjustment layer here, and you're going to overlay that on this track here, and you're going to just stretch that on top of your video. Okay, so any adjustments you make will adjust the adjustment layer, which kind of overlays on top of the video. So we're going to highlight the adjustment layer, and you'll see anything we do the adjustment layer is going to affect the video. This is a little bit warm. I don't know. I kind of like it warm, but let's just, for example purposes, see if you want to make it colder, warmer. As you can see, the RGB is going up and down. Technically, the reds, greens, and blues should be about the same for perfect white balance, and that's probably it right there, right? So I kind of cooled it down a little bit. I like it a little warmer, so I'm going to move it over a tad, just a tad. That's just me. I like it a little warmer. Now you may also need to adjust the tint, right? And you see that it looks a little wacky when I do that. I don't really think that needs to be done. It's still a little cool for me. There we go. I think I like that. So you can adjust to taste, right? Or you can do it technical, however you want to do it. So I think the color looks good. The exposure is good. We might want to add a little bit of contrast so you can see how the contrast in there. So I'll probably just add maybe 11, right? Just a little bit of contrast to that. And I think we're pretty much good to go on this. So now it's going to be time to export the file. Make sure you've been saving, which I haven't been doing. You want to save quite often or you'll lose all of your edits. So it's ready to go. So how you export this is you go to your video file and you're going to want to go to this sequence, little sequence file here. And as you see, it's got like this little stack of blues and greens. This is the one you want to right click on to highlight it. That's the one. And you're going to want to go export media. Now, a couple things here. You're going to want to name your first thing. You're going to need the name of the file. Okay. So I always like to put on my name, because this is going to be a render. I do all lowercase. So if we're working together, or we can do all lowercase, no spaces. You can have underscores or dashes. And we're going to put R1, which means render one, first render. Okay. Now location, we got to find out where we're going to save this. We are going to want to save it in our render file that we created in our folder. Folders. So we go into video and we should have the B-roll folder, and here's our renders folder. Okay, so we're going to save it there. Now, so we've got the name, we've got the location, we need the preset. Well, here's the thing. Actually, we need to get the format correct. Right now, this is just saving the audio version in an MP3. So we need to change this to, for what we're shooting in 1080. So for us, we're just going to do H.264. All right. And the H.264 is going to give us different presets. Now, since we shoot in 1080, I'm going to use high quality 1080. YouTube 1080 full HD is also acceptable, but this is just what we're going to use. All right. So now that you've got that, you're going to go down here and you're going to go to range. Some people just want to render a little piece of the video. Well, we don't want that. So you would do like an in and out thing here. We're going to go to the entire source. Okay, and then on the far right, we're going to, it's ready to go. So we've done the file name, the location, jumped over to format, set the preset, the range is the entire source, and then we are going to export this. All right, that should take, depending on the power of your computer, where you're set up, should take a few minutes. This is moving pretty fast, but that is it. And you, once this renders and you open that file, it should be good to go. So in the second here, I will show you the final video and the way it's set up. And that's it for a basic talking head edit with a little bit of very basic color and a very basic audio edit.